Mega pints! Mega pints! Mega Okay, so for the last 6 weeks, 4 weeks, however long it's been with the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial, I think all of America, most of the world have been watching. I mean, like anybody that probably cares. I mean, the majority of the percentage of people have been watching. And I would say, like, it hasn't even been the trial that has, like, had my most opinions on, but it's after the fact. Verdict, when the jury came to their verdict, I was actually surprised that they came back with it. I mean, like, we usually believe the woman. And that's understandable because from my experience of DV, because I am a surviving witness of my dear parents' who experienced what Amber Heard claimed that she experienced, would have never done some of the stuff that she did. Like openly mock my father. Like would my mother openly mock my father? Not that I ever remember. I think she was like terrified of him. I mean, like how wouldn't you be terrified? This man comes after you. Like you don't even have to be doing anything for him to come after you. And you're mocking him? You're mocking him. You're an abuser. You're mocking him. Like, and I think like there are 2 recordings that literally made me think that she's a big old liar. And all it took was 2 recordings. Like I'm sure their whole relationship was a whole toxic situation, but just 2 recordings of Amber Heard mocking Johnny Depp. Well, I guess it's 3 recordings. It's the mocking of Johnny Depp, and then where she says, "Tell the world, Johnny, tell the world that you're an abused man, that you too are a DV victim." Let's say victim. Wouldn't you be afraid that he's going to come after you again? I mean, wouldn't you? I mean, like, it just sounds narcissistic to say that. Like, are you a narcissist? Are you trying to gaslight him? Because that's exactly what it sounded like. And maybe this is why you're not being believed in your accusations of Johnny Depp beating the shit out of you. And my thing is, my mama had a whole lot more evidence than she did. I mean, like, my mom had witnesses, not just, like, photographic images. She had witnesses to what my father did. If domestic violence is, like, they may have had verbal altercations all the time, but verbal, and maybe it was a mutual, like, pushing, but drug addicts in general, they have memory issues. So if Amber Heard couldn't remember some of the stuff that happened, how do you know you're not the instigator in the situation? Apparently you were drunk all the time. You drank wine. Mega pints. I mean, like, what the? Where do they get that stuff? But I feel what Amber Heard's lawyer did, Ellen Burkhoff, for whatever her name is, never great at pronouncing, like, lots of syllables of names, so sorry. But I think what the lawyer said was even worse. Oh my God, like, how are you going to discredit the jury? Not even discredit, like, you defame them. Like, you're like, oh, they went home, they looked on social media. I don't think, like, the jury had 7 men, right? 7 men, 2 women, whatever. The jury was mostly men. I doubt any of the men around any of the fanatics of Johnny Depp. I mean, like, how much sway could social media portray on you? If anything, why wouldn't you be following the rules of the court? I mean, like, why would you want to do that to yourself? Couldn't you, like, as a jury, you could get in trouble. I mean, why would you do that? I don't think they did. I really was surprised about the verdict. I mean, they ruled in favor of Johnny and Amber. They both win, kinda, because they both were in the toxic relationship. They both did things to each other that wasn't accepted in mainstream normalcy, and it's ridiculous. I think all the drugs is really what caused their issues, because if they were both sober and could remember what they actually were doing to each other, I doubt some of the stuff that happened. But also, Johnny's a much older man, so he's like 56. So Johnny is as old as my father-in-law, approximately. So, and Amber Heard is like a little younger than me. And it's like me getting with my father-in-law, which I love my father-in-law and all. But my father-in-law and me are from two different generations. We were raised differently. So of course our perceptions would be different. Like our perceptions of how we handle things. Like Amber mocked him. And I just feel like, mock your abuser. I just don't understand that. Why would you beg to hug him at the very... There are so many recordings. Like, I think there's 2 that really damned her in my eyes. But there was so many recordings that just showed her out to be a liar. Or maybe not a liar, maybe not, just not understanding everything that was happening. I mean, like, maybe you don't remember because you were drunk or on drugs, LSD, whatever the MDAs or whatever was. I don't think it was MDA. But, you know, they keep on saying that Amber Heard won in the UK. But the thing is, Johnny Depp wasn't suing Amber Heard in the UK. Johnny Depp was suing the Sun. They were suing the Sun. So, in lovely fashion, networking always helps you. So it has come out that there's been connections between the Sun and the judge. So, were there influences that influenced the judge to make the decision that he did? Probably. I would say so. I mean, like, if Amber Heard's attorney can make the assumption that the jury was persuaded a different way, then the same can be said about the UK judge. He was persuaded the other way. So your victory that you keep claiming in the UK wasn't your victory. All of this stuff is all based on somebody's judgment of another and the evidence that was provided. And I really keep on hating on the fact that they keep on saying there's a mountain of evidence for Amber Heard. A mountain of evidence. Where was it? Huh? Where was it? Where was this evidence? Where was this mountain of evidence? I can't get over it. Like, I am all willing to believe a woman at the first sign of trouble. Like, she says that man beat her. You better believe I'm on her side until other stuff comes out. I mean, like, because men can be the victim. They can be. They won't come out with it saying because it's not masculine. They don't want to be made fun of by other guys. I mean, like, this had to take Johnny Depp a lot to go and say that he was a domestic violence victim. Like, I think if she would have never said nothing, this all would have just went swept under the rug like so many other relationships do it, and they just move on with their lives and be happy forever. But I don't think that's what she wanted. He wanted to leave. She didn't want him to. But you know what? Sometimes to get the story out there, you got to be the first person to put the story out to be believed. Because that's how it is. The first story that's out is the first one that is believed. And well, did Amber Heard get her first story out there first? Yes, she did. By what Amber Heard has done and what her lawyer is saying. I think those are some of the worst things. It's an insult to people like my mom. So many things about this trial and what comes after. Right? Amber Heard is a beautiful woman. She really is. And some of the stuff that she's going to go through because of what has happened is kind of, it's really sad. I mean, like, who tells somebody they want to microwave their baby? Who does that? That is so sad. I mean, like, what is wrong with you people wanting to microwave a baby? That baby never did nothing. What? Yes, Amber Heard lied. She lied. I believe she lied about being punched in the face by all the rings on Johnny Depp's hand. I mean, like, people wear brass knuckles to cut your face up. Like, I mean, like, is that what brass knuckles are for? Cutting your face up? I mean, like, don't brass, like, If you had I've had black eyes from my 4-year-old, and man, they hurt. I mean, like like if I have a busted lip, a hurt nose, black eyes, I definitely cannot be animated in my facial structure. Like, I can't be animated in how I talk because it hurts. Like, it literally hurts. So some of the interviews and some of the stuff that was shown about, like, Amber Heard laughing with her friends and Amber Heard taking interviews and stuff like that and sitting pretty, but where's the pain? You look very, very not in pain. I mean, yeah, we can hide pain. That's easy. But sometimes our eyes are the window to our souls. And you can see just deadness in her. I really hope that she gets the help that she needs. Because truly believing that you're a DV victim when you're not, you're perpetrating a stereotype onto other people. Like, I don't even know how she wasn't able to produce tears on the stand, because if you would, I don't think my mom could retell the story of her abuse without either having some emotional reaction. Like, it's an emotional reaction that you have, and I don't think, like, you just don't want to retell those stories. It's not something you, and if you are going to tell those stories, I would think that you want to be as anonymous as you could be, because you don't want the repercussion back on you, especially if you're going to do an opinionated piece about yourself. You could have wrote your opinionated piece maybe under a pen name, but would the Washington Post have would they have run the article? That's what you got to ask yourself in this situation. Why didn't she donate all the money as soon as she got it if that's what she was going to do? Because Johnny Depp wasn't supporting her no more. I mean, like, a lot of her friends and a lot of her, like, her friends and her family were living off of Johnny Depp. Like, his success, his money, everything. And it just seemed, they just portrayed Johnny Depp as a really nice guy. I mean, a nice guy who gets taken advantage of. Yeah, he could be paranoid, jealous, but I mean, like, I think that comes with the territory, with the drugs and the alcohol, like addiction. It gets really bad. You get paranoid, I would assume. I believe Amber Heard more if not for these types of recordings.
You lie, and then I
didn't punch you, by the way. I'm sorry that I didn't hit you across the face in a proper slap, but I was hitting you. It was not punching you. Babe, you're not punched.
Don't tell me what it feels like to be punched.
You know, even a lot of fights been around a long time. I know. Yeah.
No, when you fucking have a closed fist.
You get punched. You got hit. I'm sorry I hit you like this, but I did not punch you. I did not fucking deck you. I fucking was hitting you.
You can't
I don't know what the motion of my actual hand was, but you're fine. I did not hurt you. I did not punch you. I was hitting you.
How are your toes?
What am I supposed to do? Do this?
How are your toes?
I'm not sitting here bitching about it, am I? You are.
Oh,
that's the difference between me and you. You're a fucking baby.
Because you start physical fights?
You're such a baby.
Because
Grow the fuck up,
Because you start physical fights?
I did start a physical fight.
Yeah, you did, so I had to get the fuck out.
Like, where were you going with those? Like, what were you doing? Please explain to me why you would even say that to somebody that's going to deck you in the damn face. Why would you call your abuser a baby? You're such a baby, Johnny! Grow up! Like, what? I think if my mom would have said that to my dad, he would have punched her in the face. Because my dad's a psycho. Let me tell you about my dad. I mean, like, the last time I had any interactions with my dad got into my face and was like, you don't know the world you're messing with. You don't know what kind of people out there is gonna get you. And I'm just like, dear sir, I'm a full-grown woman and you're standing in my house. Who do you think you're talking to? I ain't gonna back down. I don't love you like my mama does. We gonna scrap because I'm having you, witch. Let's scrap. I don't care how badly I get beat. You gonna get beat too, witch. And maybe that's my problem as a a witness of DV is like, literally, if a man's gonna beat me, I was gonna beat him too. That's just how it's gonna go. I ain't gonna be a victim. I won't be a victim. I refuse to be a victim anymore. I will be a survivor forever. I will survive all things, and I will come out on top, the champion. That's probably why I did that to my father when he did what he did to me when he was here, is because my father is still an abusive, narcissistic ass hat. And he'll always be. But my father has mental illness. Like, he has bipolar. I'm sure he crutches that like hard. But I think at the end of the day, there is a certain way that you can expect it. And you can expect all of them to react in a similar way. I really don't expect them to act in a mocking way or gaslighting their abuser or anything of like that. I expect that from the abuser. And I kind of think they both were the abuser in the relationship. I mean, like, how do you talk about... I just don't know how Johnny Depp can talk about a dead corpse. Like, you're going to screw the dead corpse to make sure she's dead? I mean, like, no matter what, Amber Heard's beautiful. She may be ugly on the inside, but she is very beautiful on the outside. So, her beauty did not work for her forever. And that's probably what she was insulted by. Johnny Depp trying to teach her stuff. And I've read a bunch of stuff. Like, I've read so many things about this trial, about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard's relationship. And who knows what's true, who knows what's not. Who knows who's lying, who knows who's not. But the thing is, what's definitely telling is those recordings of their past. And of the past things that were said, that they recorded. And just... why would you do that to somebody that you love? Like, why would you keep on recording them like that? Why? Like, I keep on thinking, why would she just leave him with the ice cream like that? Why wouldn't she help him? I would have cleaned... if it was my husband, I would have cleaned it up for him. This man works real hard. I work real hard. He's having a moment. Let me clean him up. Not snap a picture. Don't snap a picture on him. You know what I mean? It's like she already knew what was happening when it happened. So, I do believe Amber Heard was in a toxic relationship. And I do believe that Amber Heard was just as toxic as Johnny was. Because I can't help but think about the Me Too movement and how, like Amber said in the trial, people came out of the woodwork to give their story. If Johnny Depp was as violent as Amber Heard claimed, people would come out of the woodwork to give their story about that. Nobody wants to save an abusive man. Not for real. Not really. Not especially if you're going to take him down. I mean, Harvey Weinstein. That is like one of the most, like, that name there just tells me he was a very powerful man. Very powerful. And look how fast he came down. Because the claims were real. The claims were true. They weren't false. If it is true, the truth will set you free and it will come out no matter what. You can't hide from the truth. But if you're lying and you're found to be lying, the little bit of truth in your lying just won't be believed. And while Johnny is no saint, we all know nobody's a saint in this world. Like, how can you be with so many rules and so many regulations? But Johnny did admit to the abuse that he did do. He said he didn't abuse anybody but himself. I mean, like, were they both traumatized? Sure, they were both traumatized. But when you're in a toxic relationship with drugs and addiction, I mean, like, how are you not? I mean, like, how could Amber Heard remember everything when she was drunk too and on drugs too? It's very clear that Whitney was on drugs and she mirrored what Amber's testimony was. Like, basically mirrored what she said about Johnny. Like, it was like a mirror. Like, basically the same statements Amber said. Whitney definitely mirrored what Amber said. Like, it was like she was afraid to speak of her own, like, little situation. I just think the case was really, really, like, if there was a mountain of evidence, it was definitely a mountain of evidence for Johnny's side. I don't know what reasons why they wouldn't allow all the evidence. I'm sure there's some reason, like, but photos can be documented, doctor. And I mean, like, I don't think, if you have good intentions, some of the evidence that Amber Heard produced, you wouldn't have produced that. I'm really dead serious about that ice cream thing. That's your husband that you love, and you sit there and take a picture of him eating, not even eating, just falling asleep with ice cream on him. I think that is a terrible, terrible thing to do to your significant other. And I think if Amber really wants to move on with her life, move on. Stop worrying about Johnny and everything that Johnny says to his fans. Like, he just said thank you to them. Thank you for your unwavering support. Thank you basically for believing in me. Thank you for caring. I mean, like, everybody could have turned their backs to him and been like, nah, he's just lying. He's just lying his butt off. But the thing is, we had more empathy for Johnny because of how he acted, how he portrayed himself. And while I think maybe the trial shouldn't have been televised, but at the end of the day, how was Johnny supposed to get his story out if he had lost? I mean, Amber Heard may be a victim and an abuser, an instigator of the abuse, but I don't think that this has anything to do with women. You're not the voice for all women. You're not the voice of the Me Too movement. You're not the voice of it. Stop trying to put yourself in that bubble. Like, literally, you're trying to collect fame off of a movement, because that's what you were doing. Like, it was all big when you wrote the article, and you had to have something to relate to the article, and all this other evidence is coming out now that, what, you lying? You lying is what's going to make it harder for people. You lying is what makes it harder for people. It's disgusting to see somebody claim something and not have the mountain of evidence like they claim. Like, in all the evidence, there should have been something that said Amber had her face bashed in with Johnny's hand. Like, I just want to see the picture of her black eyes. I just want to see the black eyes picture. The picture where all of Johnny's, he hit her with his rings. Her face would have been cut up. There would have been some evidence of her face being smashed in. There would have been some kind of evidence than what was portrayed. Where is the mountain of evidence? Please, just give it to me. Give it to me. Why don't she just release all the evidence now that the trial's over? Would it matter? I mean, no. File for bankruptcy, I suppose. Pay the money to Johnny Depp. But at the end of the day, you have to think about it in context of things. Amber Heard's lawyer went on TV quite fast, like, bam, gotta get my 15 minutes of fame, like the TMZ witness said. I mean, geez, you didn't have to go on the talk show host. You didn't have to go on the morning show. You lost. Now it's time to figure out where to go from there. Sometimes this case is ridiculous. It really is. Just plain ridiculous. And this is not a setback on women's rights. And like I said before, you don't speak for all women. So how is this a setback on women's rights? Just explain it to me. I don't get it. Why does she continuously think this way? I really don't know. I don't really get it. Like, she really must be very delusional about the whole situation, because who does this? Who does that? I mean, she stumbled over her words so many times during the trial. It's just really hard to sit and listen to her sometimes, because, like people kept on saying, she stole her testimony from movies and other places. Like, and I just really think it's a really discredit to the jury for her to even do some of the things that she did. Like, it is crazy. Crazy, silly, stupid, all that kinds of stuff. But I think that's all for today. Please join me again. Till next time. Everyone, stay safe out there. Mwah.